I'm here on Bailey Avenue, one of the areas hardest hit by looting during the deadly winter storm. The Rite Aid behind me is one of the locations hit. Kara and Rochester police say last Thursday they were called to a home on Joseph Avenue by a mother for reports that her child was unresponsive. At the home, they found 1-year-old Amias Love with what they call significant life-threatening injuries. Gleason's legacy goes far beyond our IT. Here in East Rochester, she built innovative homes she hoped would last more than 100 years. And as you can see, they have. Inflation has shoppers feeling the pinch, but soon residents of Monroe County will see some relief. The county eliminating its sales tax on clothes. A court injunction in New York State has jammed up the marijuana industry, with 6 regions, including here in the Finger Lakes, unable to open up dispensaries. For many local farmers, this means lots of product with nowhere to go. In the village of Fairport, trains are a way of life.
Oh, there's probably about 25 that come in through a day.
Barbara Caruana has lived right off Railroad Street for decades.
I've lived here for over 30 years, so you don't really notice the trains much anymore.
Her only real complaint is one you might expect.
I think the worst part of it is the traffic. Trying to get across the tracks sometimes can be a bit of a problem.
And while she doesn't feel unsafe, she says the February toxic train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio, does give her pause.
I mean, if something like that happened here, I live so close, it would definitely impact me very heavily.
We're in the county's Emergency Operations Center, which I like to call a collaboration center.
Officials with Monroe County's Office of Emergency Preparedness want to assure residents extensive training and protocols are in place in the event of such a disaster.
That's something that we pay attention to, and as I mentioned earlier, we're always and constantly, training.
County Fire Coordinator Steve Shalaba says the Emergency Operations Center here would be used in such a disaster, a place for state, local, and county officials to work together.
I always like to say that no good team meets in the huddle, and our community especially is built on mutual cooperation. Our mutual aid system was one of the first ones founded in the United States.
And though there's no way to control what comes across the county's 3 main railroads, Shalaba says the Ohio disaster has already sparked conversation locally.
Whenever you see an incident like that happen really anywhere, we always put ourselves in the same shoes. If that incident happened here in our community today, how would we respond to it?
All that preparation is a big relief for residents like Barbara.
Definitely puts me at ease, knowing that our first responders are trained and know what to do, and if anything like that happened.
After all, trains and whistles aside, she doesn't plan on going anywhere.
This is my hometown. This is where I want to stay, and I really have no desire to leave. Will probably stay here the rest of my life.
In Fairport, Andrew Freeman, Spectrum News. Cologne's Auto has been a staple of the North Clinton neighborhood for more than 50 years.
Good to see everybody we've known since we were kids. We started with the old generation my father had, with the new generation that's coming up from their kids.
Originally his father's garage, owner Emiliano Cologne is proud to be carrying on his work.
A family trade, just something that's in the blood, I guess.
Recently, his shop has seen an influx of cars come in, missing their catalytic converters.
Almost on a daily basis, we're seeing that happen. We sold the vehicle here, and one of my customers, 3 days later, they stole his off his vehicle.
This is the result of a recent string of thefts the Monroe County Sheriff's Department is saying is being seen across the country.
These are people that are just going to work. They're going out to dinner with their families. They're parking their cars in a public parking spot. And when they come back out, surprise.
Sergeant Keith Ball says the parts are being stolen for the precious metals found inside, which have skyrocketed in price. There have been more than 1,150 converters stolen in Monroe County this year, already outpacing the number of thefts for the entire year of 2021.
We have seen videos where they pull up to a car, they crawl underneath the car with this battery-operated Sawzall. In less than a minute, they're back out on the other side with the converter and onto the next victim's car.
In fact, Emiliano was a victim of this crime too.
Yeah, we had one stolen here a few months ago. It was a Acura MDX.
Prompting him to upgrade the security system around the garage.
It's very concerning because of damaged property and stolen property, insurance goes up.
Repairs can cost up to a couple $1,000s and take weeks, with a shortage of car parts across the country.
Now we got customers who are upset, who think we're not giving them the service they deserve or want. And then you got the people who got to pay for it and don't have the means to pay for it.
Sergeant Ball says the best thing someone can do is be vigilant.
We're seeing this crime happen in broad daylight, in public parking lots with people walking around, people that are observing it. So what we are asking people to do is be on the lookout.
Emiliano is just tired of all the hurting in his beloved community.
It's been rough out here. I grew up on Clinton Avenue. My father still lives on Clinton and Scranton. The way this city's going with the crime, it's hard to keep track of everything. I know it's outside the city and in the inner city, but it's just hard. They're real sneaky.
In Rochester, Andrew Freeman, Spectrum News.
How's it going, guys?
There's nothing quite like an afternoon out by the water.
Thank you.
Or so Mark New believes.
As you meet a lot of great people on the docks, and you get to drive boats, so it's always fun.
He helps take care of rentals and fuels boats at German Brothers Marina in Canandaigua.
All the bosses are great. I'm friends with a lot of the people that I work with here. I hang out with them outside of work. So yeah, it's just a great experience being out here.
And with fuel prices the way they are, you can bet he hears comments like these.
Oh, gas is only $6.79.
All the time.
Last year our gas prices were, I believe, $4.29. When I got here this summer it was $5.51, and then just recently it was raised to $6.79. So it's kind of crazy, pretty close to getting there to doubling our gas prices from last summer.
Boats use non-ethanol fuel, which is more expensive. And the marina's lead salesman, Jerry Jeske, says the rising fuel costs have impacted virtually every aspect of their business.
Just getting inventory in, new boats and everything. It costs money to ship these things. They got to be sent on semis, so just from inventory for boats to life jackets, you name it.
On the other side of that, he says there's been less traffic, so less business too. But he's not concerned yet.
We feel it a little bit, but we ride it out. You know, the marina's always going to be here, the lake's always going to be here, so we try and, you know, service our customers the best we can.
After all, many boaters feel the same way about being on the water as Mark does.
This is our recreation, and we just love doing it. So we plan for it, and the gas prices aren't going to deter us.
The $175 it cost Scott Singer to fuel up his family's brand new boat stung a little, but it was all for its maiden voyage.
Yeah, we're excited. We've been waiting for this for a long time.
And for Mark, fuel prices aside, it's those moments he'll miss. With an internship on the horizon, this will be his last summer at the marina.
I won't have much more time working here. I'm definitely going to enjoy it, take it all in, enjoy the people, enjoy driving boats every day, and that's about it. Oh, he's so good.
Andrew Freeman, Spectrum News. The gym is a regular refuge for Jeff Messenger.
It's night and day for me whether I get a workout in or not, for my mental health, my physical health, you know, getting all that blood, all those endorphins going.
The U.S. Marine veteran served from 2000 to 2004. And like many veterans, battled demons upon his return.
In my case, I was using substances to treat my trauma, and for a long time that was how I dealt with things. And to get out of that hole, I found the recovery community in Rochester.
But fitness is only one part of his recovery. Service is the other.
Giving back is what keeps me positive. It keeps me living, basically. You know, I really wouldn't know what to do with myself if I didn't have that.
Jeff founded the nonprofit Rochester Veterans
Boom.
and helped bring the veteran-led service nonprofit The Mission Continues to Rochester.
We have been attracting just some of the greatest people, so we get to hang out and have fun together, do something that we know is making a positive impact.
For the anniversary of 9/11, he and more than 20 other volunteers helped restore the Trenton and Pamela Jackson Art Center with a cleanup, hopscotch paint, and new benches.
By putting in this work now, right before the kids go back to school, we're making a huge positive impact, I feel.
Jeff was already in the military when 9/11 happened.
We like to remember the day after when we were united. The entire country was as one. We knew we had a common enemy. So what we're doing is, it's called our United in Service campaign. And as part of that,
But more than 10 years later, the mission continues.
even though we're out of the, we're not in the service anymore, we still want to do that same kind of work in our own cities. We have these skills that we're putting to use in other parts of the world. Why not bring them home into our own cities and make life better for people here? These are great, though.
In Rochester, Andrew Freeman, Spectrum News. At North Rose Wolcott Central School District, Deputy Rob Mansell's job isn't just about security.
Hello.
Not only does he work to build relationships
Hi, guys.
with our students and our families, but also with our school staff. And I thought that was like a huge step with like your relationship with him too. Yeah.
As a school resource officer, those relationships are important.
How's lunch? Never know what you're going to get. We wear multiple hats inside here. 1 minute I'm a sheriff's deputy, next I'm a counselor, a parent. You don't know my name?
The Wayne County Sheriff's Office says there's a high demand for SROs right now.
You guys share food a lot?
I know when parents are dropping off their kids, picking them up, they like the presence of Deputy Mansell here. I think it just provides that extra security to know that there is an officer within the buildings in case something were to happen.
But for the time being, requests for officers or additional officers in some cases have to remain unfulfilled.
At this point, Wayne County Sheriff's Office just doesn't have enough staff to fulfill all of those requests right now, as well as maintain our road patrol coverage.
There you go, good one.
There are currently 8 school resource officers across Wayne County, but Sheriff Rob Milby says recruitment is underway to hopefully bring that number to 15.
And we're postured to put another 12 to 13 in our academy next year. I'm pretty confident by this time next year we'll be able to fulfill all the requests.
Hey, did you bring me something for lunch?
And for many, like 6th grader Carter Egner,
Oh, Uncrustables down.
that's a good thing.
It makes me feel safe, like, because like of dangerous stuff, and officers, like, they can help you and they're trained for stuff like that.
Last year, he brought in a mug and framed photo to show his appreciation to Deputy Mansell.
He's pretty funny and he's good with kids and stuff.
That's the most important meal of the day. Big breakfast and then a lunch.
In the lunchroom, like, he would like joke with us sometimes.
Tasers, they hurt. So hopefully you never find out.
And it's
What kind of
those
dog you
positive interactions that Deputy Mansell lives for.
The positive interactions, you know. Like I said, today in this world, we're not looked upon very, very well, and to actually have good interactions, and hopefully we can change the perspective out there.
Because trust and safety go hand in hand.
I want these families to know that when they send their children off to these buildings, that there's someone here to make sure they're going to come home at the end of the day.
In Wayne County, Andrew Freeman, Spectrum News.